Captain Jake Morrison was drinking his morning coffee when the alarm started screaming. He put down his cup and ran to the bridge of the stellar horizon. The red lights were flashing and his crew was moving fast around their stations. "What do we have?" Jake asked as he sat in his captain's chair. Amy Walsh looked up from her communication station. Her face was worried. "Sir, we're getting a distress signal. It's not human." Jake felt his heart beat faster. In 15 years of flying through deep space, he had never heard those words. "Not human? Are you sure?" "Yes, sir. The signal is coming from about 2 million kilometers away. The language is completely unknown, but the computer thinks it might be a call for help." Dr. Lisa Carter walked onto the bridge. She was the ship's doctor and also knew a lot about alien life. "Captain, I heard the alarm. What's happening?" "We might have our first contact with aliens," Jake said. "Amy, can you play the message?" Amy pressed some buttons and strange sounds filled the bridge. The voice was deep and made clicking noises. It sounded scared and desperate. Even though nobody could understand the words, everyone knew it was asking for help. "Tony, get up here," Jake called to his engineer. Tony Rodriguez came running from the engine room. His hands were dirty from working on the ship's systems. "Captain, what's the emergency? We have a possible alien ship in trouble. I need to know if we can help them." Jake pointed at the main screen. "Amy, show us what our sensors can see." The screen lit up with a picture of space. Far away, they could see a huge ship. It was bigger than anything humans had ever built. The ship was dark and looked like it was made from living things instead of metal. "That's impossible," Tony whispered. "How can something that big stay in space?" Dr. Carter was looking at her scanner. "Captain, I'm reading massive energy loss from that ship. Whatever is wrong, it's getting worse fast." Jake looked at his crew. They were all staring at him. This was the biggest decision of his life. Humans had always wondered if they were alone in the universe. Now they had their answer. But the aliens needed help, and helping them could be dangerous. "Amy, try to send a message back. Use simple math and pictures. Show them we want to help." Amy worked at her station for several minutes. Then she sent the message. They all waited. Nothing happened for a long time. Then the alien voice came back. This time it was different. The computer had been working to understand the language. Words appeared on the screen as the alien spoke. "Unknown ship. We are grateful for your response. Our life support systems are failing. We cannot survive much longer. We are the Vorthak from the world Kethmoran. Please, we need immediate assistance." Everyone on the bridge was quiet. They were really talking to aliens, real living beings from another world. Jake stood up. "Amy, tell them we are humans from Earth. Tell them we want to help, but we need to know what's wrong with their ship." The answer came back quickly. "Humans, Earth. Our atmospheric processors have been damaged. The air inside our ship is becoming poison. We cannot leave our sealed emergency chambers. In 3 hours, our protective suits will stop working. Then we will die." Dr. Carter looked worried. "Captain, we don't know anything about their biology. We don't know what kind of air they need, or what would poison them. If we go over there, we might not be able to help at all." Tony was studying his readings. "Their ship is huge, Captain. It would take us hours just to find where they are inside it. And we don't know if our equipment will work with their technology." Jake walked to the front of the bridge and looked out at the stars. The alien ship was just a small dot of light, but inside it were living beings who would die if nobody helped them. He thought about his crew. They had signed up for mining missions, not dangerous rescue operations, but they were the only humans close enough to help. "How many of them are there?" Jake asked. Amy sent the question and waited for an answer. "Captain, they say there are 67 Vorthak on that ship, mostly families with children." Children. Jake closed his eyes. He thought about his own daughter back on Earth. If she was trapped and dying on a ship far from home, he would want someone to try to save her. "Tony, how long would it take us to get there?" "About 2 hours at full speed, Captain." "Dr. Carter, what kind of equipment do we have for a rescue mission?" We have medical supplies and emergency life support systems. Our EVA suits can work in most environments. But Captain, we have no idea what we're walking into. Jake nodded. He understood the dangers, but he also understood that this was bigger than just saving alien lives. This was the moment when humans would show the universe who they really were. Amy, send them a message, tell them we are coming. Tell them to hold on. The bridge became busy with activity. Tony went to prepare the ship's engines. Dr. Carter gathered medical equipment and emergency supplies. Amy kept talking to the aliens, trying to learn more about their ship and their emergency. Jake sat in his captain's chair and watched his crew work. In 2 hours, they would reach the alien ship. None of them knew what they would find there. They didn't know if they could really help or if they would all die trying. But Jake knew one thing for sure. Today, humanity would prove that they were not alone in the universe. And maybe, if they were lucky and brave enough, they would prove that being human meant never giving up on someone who needed help. The stellar horizon moved through space as fast as it could go. Jake Morrison stood on the bridge watching the alien ship get bigger on their screen. Up close, it looked even stranger than before. The surface looked like it was breathing. Strange, colors moved across it like waves. Captain, we're getting close, Amy Walsh said from her station. The aliens are still talking to us. They say their name for the ship is Keth Moran. What does that mean? Jake asked. They say it means floating home in their language. Dr. Lisa Carter was looking at her readings. Captain, I'm getting some very strange numbers from their ship. The atmosphere inside is nothing like what we expected. Tony Rodriguez came onto the bridge wearing his spacesuit. He was carrying extra equipment for the rescue mission. Captain, I've got our EVA suits ready, but I have to tell you, their ship is giving off some weird energy readings. Jake nodded. What kind of readings? High radiation levels, lots of chemical signatures I don't recognize, and the temperature inside their ship keeps changing. Tony looked worried. Captain, their ship doesn't work like ours at all. It's like it's alive. Amy got another message from the aliens. Captain, they're asking us to dock with their ship. They say there's a docking port on the side that our ship can connect to. Are they sure it's safe? Jake asked. They say yes, but they also say we must wear our protective suits at all times. They say the air inside their ship would be very dangerous for us. Dr. Carter looked up from her scanner. Captain, they're right about that. I'm reading methane, sulfur compounds, and radiation levels that would kill a human in minutes. Jake felt his stomach tighten. This was going to be more dangerous than he thought. Tony, are our suits good enough to protect us in that environment? Our EVA suits are the best we have, Captain. They should keep us safe for several hours. But if something goes wrong... Tony didn't finish the sentence. Amy, tell the aliens we're coming aboard. Tell them we'll need them to guide us to where their people are trapped. The docking process took 30 minutes. The alien ship's docking port was completely different from human designs, but Tony managed to make it work. When the connection was secured, Jake gathered his team. Listen carefully, we don't know what we're walking into. Stay together. Don't touch anything unless you have to. And if anyone's suit shows any problems at all, we come back immediately. Dr. Carter checked her medical scanner one more time. Captain, I'm bringing equipment to help with different kinds of alien biology. But honestly, we're guessing about everything. Tony was carrying tools and emergency repair equipment. I've got what I need to fix basic life support problems, but their technology is so different from ours I might not be able to help much. Amy had a special communication device. I'll stay in contact with our ship and try to keep talking to the aliens who are trapped. They walked to the airlock that connected their ship to the alien vessel. Jake took a deep breath inside his helmet. Everyone ready? His team nodded. Jake opened the door. The first thing that hit them was the smell. Even inside their sealed suits, they could tell the air was wrong. Their suit sensors immediately started beeping warnings. The radiation detectors were clicking fast. Everyone's suits working okay? Jake asked through the radio. All good here, Captain, Tony said. My readings are steady, Dr. Carter added. Communication systems working fine, Amy reported. They stepped into the alien ship. The walls around them were curved and smooth. They pulsed with soft light that changed colors. It really did look like they were inside a living thing. This is incredible, Dr. Carter whispered. The ship is actually alive. It's a biological construct. Amy was getting signals from the trapped aliens. Captain, they say to follow the blue lights. That will take us to the emergency chambers where their people are waiting. They started walking through the strange corridors. The floor felt soft under their feet. Sometimes they could hear sounds like a giant heartbeat coming from the walls. Captain, Tony said, my radiation detector is going crazy. The levels in here are way higher than we expected. How much higher? Jake asked. If we weren't wearing these suits, we would be dead already. This environment is incredibly hostile. They kept walking. The blue lights led them deeper into the ship. Along the way, they saw amazing things. Rooms filled with plants that glowed in the dark, pools of liquid that moved by themselves, technology that looked like it had grown instead of being built. Captain, I'm getting readings on the Vorthak life signs, Dr. Carter said. They're about 500 meters ahead of us. As they got closer, they started to see the aliens. The Vorthak were tall, about 7 feet high. They had 4 arms and skin that was dark purple. But what was most surprising was what they were wearing. Every single Vorthak was inside a completely sealed suit. The suits looked like metal bubbles around their bodies. They couldn't move very well, and they looked very uncomfortable. Amy asked them why they need those suits inside their own ship, Jake said. Amy talked to the aliens and then answered. Captain, they say the air inside their ship is dangerous even for them. They can only take off their suits in special safe rooms. But the safe rooms lost power when their life support systems failed. Dr. Carter was studying her readings. Captain, this is amazing. These aliens evolved on a world that was so safe, they can't survive in environments that would be just uncomfortable for humans. What do you mean? Jake asked. Look at the conditions inside this ship. High radiation, toxic gases, extreme temperature changes. For us, this is dangerous but survivable with protective equipment. For them, this is instantly fatal. Tony was working on his scanner. Captain, I think I understand their problem. Their life support systems don't clean the air. They just create safe spaces inside the ship. When those systems failed, the whole ship became deadly for them. They finally reached the area where the Vorthak were trapped. There were dozens of them crowded into 3 small chambers. Through the transparent walls, the humans could see that the aliens looked scared and desperate. Many of them were holding what looked like children. Amy, tell them we're here to help. Ask them what we need to do. The answer came back quickly. Captain, they say their emergency chambers will run out of air in less than 2 hours. They need us to fix the main life support system, but they say it's located in the most dangerous part of the ship. Jake looked at his team. They were standing in an environment that would kill the aliens instantly, but their suits were keeping them alive. Now they needed to go somewhere even more dangerous. Where is this life support system? Jake asked. In the engine room, Captain, where the radiation levels are highest and the toxic gases are most concentrated. Jake realized that they were about to walk into an environment so deadly that even their advanced suits might not protect them. But the aliens were counting on them. 67 lives depended on what they did next. Jake Morrison led his team deeper into the alien ship. The walls around them were glowing brighter now, and the heartbeat sounds were getting louder. Their radiation detectors were clicking so fast they sounded like angry insects. Captain, the engine room should be just ahead, Amy Walsh said, reading the directions the Vorthak had given them. Tony Rodriguez was carrying heavy repair equipment, but he was moving slower than usual. Captain, my suit is working harder to keep the radiation out. The levels here are incredible. Dr. Lisa Carter was watching her medical scanner. Everyone's vital signs are still normal. Our suits are doing their job, but barely. They reached a large door that was sealed shut. Strange symbols were glowing on its surface. Amy talked to the trapped aliens through her communication device. Captain, they say this is the entrance to the engine room, but they're warning us that no Vorthak has ever been able to enter this room without dying instantly. Jake looked at the door. Even with their protective suits? Even with their best suits, Captain. They say the environment inside is so deadly that their suits fail within minutes. Tony was studying the door mechanism. I think I can get it open, Captain. But once we go in there, We're in the most dangerous place on this ship. How dangerous? Jake asked. Dr. Carter was reading the environmental data from her scanner. Captain, the readings I'm getting are off the charts. Radiation levels are 50 times higher than what we found in the corridors. The toxic gas concentration is so high it should melt our equipment. Jake felt his heart beating fast. But behind them, 67 aliens were dying slowly in their emergency chambers. Children were crying. Families were saying goodbye to each other. Tony, open the door. Tony worked on the alien controls for several minutes. Finally, the door slid open with a sound like rushing wind. Immediately, all their alarms started screaming. Everyone's suit status, Jake called out. Suit working but struggling, Tony reported. Medical systems holding steady, Dr. Carter said. Communication. Systems still functional, Amy added. They stepped into the engine room. It was enormous. The ceiling was so high they couldn't see the top. Strange machines filled the space, all of them made from the same living material as the rest of the ship, but many of the machines were dark and silent. There, Tony pointed to a massive structure in the center of the room. That has to be the main life support processor. They started walking toward it. With each step, their radiation detectors clicked, faster. The air around them was thick with toxic gases that made their helmet displays flicker. Captain, Dr. Carter said, I don't understand how we're still alive in here. The readings show that this environment should kill any living thing. In seconds, they reached the central machine. Tony immediately started examining it with his tools. I can see the problem. Several of the biological processors have stopped working. But Captain, this is going to take time to fix. How much time? Jake asked. At least 2 hours, maybe 3. Amy was getting worried messages from the trapped aliens. Captain, the Vorthak are asking if we're okay. They say no living thing should be able to survive in the engine room for more than a few minutes. Jake was about to answer when Tony's suit alarm started screaming louder than all the others. Tony, what's wrong? Jake called out. Captain, my suit's air recycler just failed. I've got maybe 10 minutes of air left in my emergency supply. Everyone froze. They were in the most deadly part of the ship, and Tony's protective suit was failing. Without it, he would die instantly. Tony, get back to the ship immediately, Jake ordered. Captain, I can't leave. This repair needs someone who understands the engineering. If I don't fix this now, all those aliens will die. Tony kept working on the alien machine even as his suit's alarms got louder. His hands were shaking, but he didn't stop. Tony, your air supply, Dr. Carter warned. I know, Doc. 5 minutes left. Jake watched his engineer work desperately to save alien lives while his own life was running out. Then something impossible happened. Tony's suit completely stopped working. The life support systems shut down. The protective seals failed. The toxic atmosphere of the engine room rushed into his helmet. Everyone expected Tony to collapse and die. Instead, he kept working. Tony, Jake called out in shock. Your suit has completely failed. Tony looked up from his work. His helmet was full of the alien atmosphere, but he was breathing normally. I know, Captain, but I feel fine. Doctor, Carter was staring at her medical scanner. This is impossible. Tony, you're breathing an atmosphere that should kill you instantly, but your vital signs are completely normal. Tony took a deep breath of the toxic air. It smells terrible, but I'm not dying. Jake couldn't believe what he was seeing. Tony, try taking off your helmet completely. Tony hesitated, then removed his helmet entirely. He was now breathing the deadly atmosphere with no protection at all. The radiation that should have killed him in seconds was having no effect. Captain, I feel perfectly fine. A little sick from the smell, but that's all. Amy was getting excited messages from the trapped aliens. She listened, then turned to Jake with wide eyes. Captain, the Vorthak are asking how this is possible. They say in their entire galactic confederation no species can survive unprotected in conditions like this. Dr. Carter was running every medical scan she could. Captain, this is incredible. Tony's body is somehow processing the toxic gases safely. The radiation isn't harming him at all. It's like his human biology is adapted for this environment. Jake looked around the engine room. The environment that was instantly deadly to the advanced alien species was just uncomfortable for humans. Everyone, try removing your helmet slowly, If you feel sick at all, put them back on immediately. One by one, the human team removed their protective helmets. The air smelled awful and made their eyes water. But none of them died. None of them even got seriously sick. Amy was translating the amazed messages from the Vorthak. Captain, they're saying this is impossible. They want to know what kind of world could create beings who survive in such deadly conditions. Dr. Carter was thinking out loud. Earth. Our planet has always been dangerous. Radiation from space, toxic gases from volcanoes, extreme weather, deadly bacteria and viruses. Humans evolved to survive in conditions that most species would find lethal. Tony was working much faster now without his bulky suit. Captain, I can fix this life support system in about an hour now, but I'm starting to understand something. What? Jake asked. We might be the only species in the galaxy who can work in environments like this. While other species developed technology to create safe spaces, humans developed bodies that can survive dangerous spaces. Jake looked at his team working freely in an environment that required the most advanced alien species to wear protective suits just to survive. He realized that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their intelligence. It was the simple fact that Earth had made them incredibly hard to kill. Amy was getting more messages from the aliens. Captain, the Vorthak are calling, us the unprotected ones. They say we're either the bravest species they've ever met or the most impossible. Jake smiled as he watched Tony repair the alien life support systems with his bare hands in an atmosphere that would kill most galactic species instantly. Tell them we're just humans, Jake said, and humans don't give up. Tony Rodriguez finished fixing the alien life support system after 2 hours of work. The machines came back to life with a sound like a giant breathing in. Clean air started flowing into the emergency chambers where the Vorthak were trapped. Captain, it's working, Tony called out to Jake Morrison. The aliens should be safe now. Jake was standing on the bridge of the Keth Moran with the alien ship's captain. The Vorthak leader was tall and thin, with purple skin and 4 arms. He wore a completely sealed suit that made him look like he was inside a glass bubble. Captain Morrison, the alien said through his translator, we cannot thank you enough. You have saved 67 lives today. Dr. Lisa Carter was helping the Vorthak families leave their emergency chambers. The aliens were amazed that humans could walk around their ship without protective suits. Captain, Amy Walsh called from the communication station. I'm getting a lot of messages from the Vorthak. They want to know more about humans and Earth. The alien captain moved closer to Jake. Captain Morrison, we must ask you something important. Where did your species come from? What kind of world could create beings who survive in such deadly conditions? Jake thought about how to explain Earth to an alien. Our planet is difficult. We have storms that can destroy cities, earthquakes that split the ground open, volcanoes that pour poison into the air, radiation from space, deadly diseases. Most of the time, Earth is trying to kill everything that lives on it. The Vorthak captain was quiet for a long moment. Your world sounds terrible. How do you survive there? We don't just survive, Jake said. We grow stronger. Every challenge makes us harder to kill. Amy got another message and looked worried. Captain, the Vorthak are getting signals from other ships. They want to talk to their captain immediately. Alien captain activated his communication system. Dozens of voices started talking at once in the Vorthak language. Jake could tell they were excited and scared. What are they saying? Jake asked Amy. Amy listened to her translator. Captain, there are hundreds of Vorthak ships in this area of space. They're all in trouble. The alien captain turned to Jake. Captain Morrison, we were not just traveling when our ship was damaged, we were running away. Running away from what? From a dying star. 3 months ago, our scientists detected that the star in our home system was becoming unstable. It started releasing deadly radiation and toxic gases. The radiation cloud has been growing and spreading to other star systems. Dr. Carter joined the conversation. How big is this radiation cloud? It covers dozens of star systems now. Any planet or ship caught in it becomes deadly to most forms of life. Only the most protected environments can survive. Jake felt his stomach drop. How many ships are trapped? Thousands, Captain Morrison. Ships from 12 different species. Over 200,000 people are slowly dying because they cannot leave their sealed emergency chambers. Tony came onto the bridge, still not wearing his protective suit. The alien captain stared at him in amazement. "Captain," Tony said, "I've been talking to the Vorthak engineers. They say this radiation cloud is moving toward populated star systems. If it reaches the core worlds of the Galactic Confederation, billions of people could die." Amy was getting more messages. "Captain, other alien species are asking the Vorthak about us. Word is spreading that humans can survive without protection in the radiation cloud." The alien captain looked directly at Jake. "Captain Morrison, in our entire Galactic Confederation, no species has ever been able to survive unprotected in such conditions. You humans are unique." Jake was beginning to understand what this meant. "You're saying that humans might be the only ones who can help?" "Yes. Our best protected suits can only work for a few hours in the radiation cloud. Your people can work indefinitely. You could rescue everyone." Dr. Carter was studying the star charts on the alien computer. "Captain, look at this. The radiation cloud is enormous. There are ships scattered across hundreds of star systems." "How long do they have?" Jake asked. "Some ships have only days left. Others might last weeks. But eventually all of them will run out of clean air and power." Jake walked to the front of the bridge and looked out at space. Somewhere out there, thousands of ships were drifting helplessly. Families were trapped in emergency chambers watching their children get sicker as their air ran out. "Captain," Amy said, "I'm getting a message from our ship. Earth Command wants to know what's happening." Jake activated the communication system to talk to the stellar horizon. "This is Captain Morrison. Connect me to Earth Command immediately." A few minutes later, Admiral Kate Brooks appeared on the screen. She was the head of Earth's space exploration program. "Captain Morrison, we received your report about first contact with aliens. What's your status?" "Admiral, we have a situation that's much bigger than first contact. There are thousands of alien ships trapped in a radiation cloud. Over 200,000 people are going to die unless someone helps them. What do you need from us?" "Every ship we can get, Admiral. Every volunteer crew. We've discovered that humans can survive in environments that kill other species. We might be the only ones who can conduct rescue operations in the radiation cloud." Admiral Brooks was quiet for a moment. "Captain, are you asking me to commit Earth's entire space fleet to a rescue mission for aliens we just met?" Jake looked around the bridge at the Vorthak captain and his crew. They were waiting to hear what humanity would do. "Admiral, if we don't help them, hundreds of thousands of people will die. Children, families, entire civilizations. And if the radiation cloud keeps growing, it might eventually threaten Earth too. How long do we have to decide?" Tony stepped forward. "Admiral, some of the ships only have days left. If we're going to help, we need to start now." Admiral Brooks nodded slowly. "Captain Morrison, I'm authorizing Operation Rescue. Every available Earth ship will be sent to your location. We're also calling for volunteers from the colonies." The alien captain was listening to the translation. His forearms were shaking with emotion. "Captain Morrison," the alien said, "you are committing your entire species to save people you have never met." "Why?" Jake thought about the question. "Because it's the right thing to do. Because if humans don't help, nobody else can. And because that's what humans do. We don't give up on people who need help." Amy was getting excited messages from ships throughout the radiation cloud. "Captain, word is spreading that humans are coming to help. Alien species we've never heard of are asking if it's true." Dr. Carter was making plans on her scanner. "Captain, we're going to need medical supplies for dozens of different alien species, and equipment to work in the most hostile environments in the galaxy." Tony was already thinking about the engineering challenges. "We'll need to modify our ships to work as rescue vessels, and train crews to work in radiation levels that would kill most species." Jake looked out at the stars again. In a few days, Earth's ships would arrive. Human crews would spread out across the radiation cloud, working in environments so deadly that advanced alien civilizations couldn't survive there. "Admiral," Jake said to the screen, "tell the volunteers they're about to become heroes to species." They've never met. Tell them they're about to show the galaxy what humans are made of. The alien captain moved closer to Jake. Captain Morrison, if your people succeed in this rescue, you will be remembered by every species in the Galactic Confederation. You will be known as the ones who could not be stopped by any danger. Jake smiled. We're just humans doing what humans do. We survive, and we help others survive too. Amy was coordinating with ships across the radiation cloud. Captain, I'm getting reports that more alien ships are failing every hour. The situation is getting worse. Then we better work faster, Jake said. Amy, send a message to every trapped ship in the radiation cloud. Tell them help is coming. Tell them humans are coming. 3 days later, Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the stellar horizon and watched as dozens of Earth ships arrived in the radiation cloud. Each ship carried volunteer crews who had left their families to help save aliens they had never met. Captain, this is Admiral Brooks, came a voice over the communication system. Operation Rescue is now active. We have 47 ships and over 2,000 volunteers ready for rescue operations. Jake felt proud as he watched the human fleet spread out across space. Admiral, we've identified the ships that are in the most danger. Some of them only have hours left. Dr. Lisa Carter was working at a medical station she had set up on the alien ship. Captain, I've been studying the biology of 12 different alien species. Each one needs different kinds of help, but I think we can save them all. Tony Rodriguez came onto the bridge wearing just his normal work clothes. No protective suit, no helmet. Behind him walked 3 other human engineers, who were also breathing the deadly alien atmosphere. Captain, we've got teams ready to repair life support systems on over 300 ships. The work will be dangerous, but that's never stopped humans before. Amy Walsh was coordinating with rescue ships across the entire radiation cloud. Captain, I'm getting reports from human crews on 30 different ships. They're all working in environments that the aliens say should be impossible to survive. On the main screen, Jake could see the rescue operation beginning. Human ships were docking with alien vessels throughout the radiation cloud. Crews in simple work clothes were walking into environments so hostile that even the most advanced alien technology couldn't protect against them. The Vorthak captain stood next to Jake, still wearing his sealed protective suit. Captain Morrison, my people have been watching your rescue team's work. They are calling it the most impossible thing they have ever seen. What do you mean? Jake asked. Your people are working 12-hour shifts in radiation levels that kill most species in minutes. They are breathing atmospheres that melt our best protective equipment, and they are doing it without any protection at all. Amy received a message that made her smile. Captain, Team 7 just finished rescuing 86 aliens from a Calarian transport ship. The Calarians are saying humans must be made of magic. Dr. Carter was treating aliens from 6 different species in her medical bay. Captain, I've learned something interesting. Most of these species evolved on worlds that were much safer than Earth. They never had to develop the biological defenses that humans have. Tony was studying reports from engineering teams across the fleet. Captain, we've repaired life support systems on over 100 ships in just 3 days. The alien engineers are amazed at how fast humans can work in deadly environments. Jake activated the communication system to talk to all the human rescue teams. This is Captain Morrison to all rescue teams. Status report. Voices came back from dozens of ships across the radiation cloud. Team 3 here, Captain. We just saved 400 aliens from a Nexarian colony ship. No injuries to our crew. Team 12 reporting. We're working on a massive Thalorian vessel with over 1,000 people trapped inside. Should have them free in 6 hours. Team 21 here. We found a ship full of children from the Zelian species. All safe now, Captain. The reports kept coming. Human teams were working tirelessly in the most dangerous environments in the galaxy, saving lives that no other species could reach. Admiral Brooks contacted Jake from her flagship. Captain Morrison, I'm getting reports from across the galaxy. Word of what humans are doing is spreading to every civilized world. They're calling it the Great Rescue. The alien captain was listening to messages from his own people. Captain Morrison, the Galactic Confederation Council is meeting an emergency session. They want to talk to you. About what? Jake asked. About inviting humanity to join the Galactic Confederation. No species has ever been offered membership after just first contact, but what you are doing is unprecedented. Amy was getting more and more messages from grateful alien species. Captain, I'm receiving thank you messages from species I can't even pronounce. Some of them are offering to share their most advanced technology with humanity. Dr. Carter was treating a small alien child who had been rescued from a failing ship. The child's parents were crying with joy as she worked. Captain, I'm learning so much about alien biology. When this is over, we'll be able to help species throughout the galaxy with medical problems they thought were impossible to solve. 2 weeks later, the rescue operation was nearly complete. Jake stood in the main meeting room of the Kethmaran with representatives from 12 different alien species. They had all traveled to personally thank the humans. The Vorthak captain spoke for the group. Captain Morrison, in the history of our Galactic Confederation, no single action has ever saved so many lives. Your people rescued over 200,000 beings from certain death. A tall, blue alien with 6 eyes stepped forward. I am Ambassador Thelen from the Calarian High Council. We wish to offer humanity full membership in the Galactic Confederation. A small furry alien with large ears spoke next. I represent the Thulorian Empire. We offer humanity access to our most advanced technologies as thanks for saving our people. More aliens stepped forward, each offering gifts and honors to humanity. But Jake was thinking about something else. Thank you all, Jake said. But humanity doesn't want payment for helping you. We helped because it was the right thing to do. The aliens looked confused. The Vorthak captain spoke for all of them. Captain Morrison, your species risked everything to save people you had never met. You worked in environments that should have killed you. You asked for nothing in return. We do not understand. Jake looked around at all the alien representatives. That's what humans do. We help people who need help. We don't give up when things get dangerous, and we never leave anyone behind. Amy was getting a message from Earth. Captain, Admiral Brooks says that over 5,000 more humans have volunteered for rescue operations. They want to help with cleanup and rebuilding in the damaged star systems. Tony was working on plans to help repair the alien ships permanently. Captain, with what we've learned about alien technology, we can help make their ships much safer. No more ships will be lost to environmental dangers. Dr. Carter was sharing her medical research with alien doctors. Captain, by working together, we can solve medical problems that have troubled these species for thousands of years. The blue alien ambassador spoke again. Captain Morrison, what do humans want from the galaxy? Jake thought about the question. We want to keep exploring, keep learning, keep helping people who need help, and maybe make some friends along the way. The Vorthak captain's translator was having trouble with one word. Captain Morrison, what does friends mean? Jake smiled. It means we care about each other. It means when you have problems, we help you solve them. And when we have problems, you help us. The alien representatives talked among themselves in their different languages. Finally, the Vorthak captain spoke for all of them. Captain Morrison, humanity is now officially invited to join the Galactic Confederation. But not because of your technology or your intelligence. Then why? Jake asked. Because you are the only species we have ever met that cannot be stopped by any danger. Because you help others without asking for anything in return. And because the galaxy is a better place with humans in it. Jake looked out the window at space where human ships were still working to help damaged alien vessels. In a few months, humanity would officially join a galactic community of intelligent species. But Jake knew the truth. Humans hadn't joined the galaxy because they were the smartest or the strongest. They had joined because they were the species that never gave up on anyone who needed help. And that, Jake thought, was the most human thing of all.